Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be here for our self-care Saturday. So we have an awesome lineup of great things for you today to take care of yourself, for your health, your wellness, your well-being. We're just so excited to be able to be here this morning. I have an amazing friend with me this morning that's going to start us off. And I have had the extreme blessing and pleasure of meeting her through one of my clients in Mary Kay, and I am just so grateful that I met her. She has really inspired me and touched my heart forever. She's a great, amazing woman. You're going to be so inspired by her. I just really wanted to have a platform today to introduce these great women that I've had the privilege of meeting. I wanted to create this platform for you all to experience the joy of empowered women, and that we want to empower you to pull your greatness out of you, to have joy in your life. It's such crazy times. So we're glad you joined us this morning. So I'm going to introduce you to our very first guest today. She is the founder of Project Soul Connections. She's a co-host of a YouTube channel, The Greek Soup, with Connie and Nikki. She's a life coach, a business consultant, and numerologist. She's a busy, busy girl. Lots of interesting facts and fun things about Nikki. I just have really enjoyed getting to meet her. So I'm going to bring her up here. So here is Nikki. So woohoo, good morning.
Hello. Let me get a little closer to you. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's Self-Care Saturday.
Yes, your tongue twister.
Yes. And I'm wearing my pink, and I'm really excited about it. I have my pink shirt on for Mary Kay, and I have the pink rose. That's your signature little way of personalizing your orders. And I have the Mary Kay book, which is like such good energy, I have to say. So yeah, and I have my pink lipstick on. I hope I'm representing.
Oh, you are, Nikki. You always do. You never fail to do that. You always go the extra miles. So it's been such a fun journey getting to know you. So what I would love to just hear a little of your story, Nikki, and how this journey all happened for you.
Well, I have been raised, so I'm 45 years old, and I've been raised in the restaurant business. My parents came to Buffalo in 1969 with one suitcase and about $50 in their pocket, and they sought out the American dream, and they worked very, very hard. So I was a product of that environment for decades, and so we worked in the restaurant business. I went from there to being the catering manager into the events planning. So, and then we had a chain of restaurants. And so we did achieve the American dream. And it is, so I learned a lot of strategies, and I learned how wonderful it is to work with the public. And so the ebbs and flows of the economic dips and the highs, and what that all means as far as how to shift your focus and then also recreate yourself when you're in the ebbs. So here we are trying to raise our vibration and focus during the economy and our economic climate right now, because as you all know, we're sitting in a lot of vulnerability, and we're sitting in a lot of like uncertainty, and our mainstay, which is the way we do business and the way we try to bring abundance into our lives, has been halted in the way that we used to do it. So now we're being forced to kind of look at things in a different way. So I draw from my experiences of things that have happened to my family and I kind of apply it to my life coaching and my business consulting. But I also have strategies that I have kind of put together to help people raise their vibrations. And part of it is to raise your vibration in order to allow for new abundance to come in. And I'm not really talking so much about abundance in the way of money, but abundance can be in the way of social networking, your social capital, which will then eventually lead to what you really where you really want to see it, which is in your pocket. But how do we get there is really what I teach people, and I teach it in a very different way. I am a personal development coach, and I use numbers. So this is like the most unique kind of fusion of concepts that I've developed in the last 2 years. And I use numerology, which is the most recognizable format to kind of chart people's numbers, and infuse it into the strategies that they will use and customize it in order to reach their best selves. Which to you probably think you're probably thinking, what does that mean? But we're all connected to numbers, right? We all use numbers. There, it's part of a light language, but also in the way we do business, money, time, things like that. So I am a big numbers girl, and I have been studying Tesla and Pythagoras for decades. So I've infused the things that I've learned about them into my practice. And I usually start with the most recognizable numbers, which are birthdays, significant death dates in your family, numbers that keep kind of showing up all the time for you and you just don't understand why. So I kind of decode everything for you, but also there is this hint of destiny at play. So I try to decode the numbers, but also try to teach people that in order to look at the numbers in a certain way, we can kind of think about our personalities in a different way, our tendencies in a different way. And maybe if you're in resistance with someone, right, in your life that has a certain number, it kind of makes you realize that you can't really take it personally because they were born this way. So what do you do with this, right? What do you do with this in order to raise your vibration and kind of get over the resistance and the stuck energy in order to lead and live into your best life? So does that make any sense for you?
Yes, it does. It does. Yes. So, where would we like to take this right now, Nikki? I'm excited to hear what you have to share with us. I wanted, to introduce you to my tribe of Mary Kay clan because you've really, every time I see you, you're like a ray of sunshine. And one of our goals in Mary Kay, of course, is to bring joy to other women. And I am so privileged to be able to work with women like you, and you've been a huge blessing. So, I've been following Nikki during this whole crazy situation, and she is actually, her Facebook page has so many great murals. So one of the interesting things about Nikki is she's chasing artistry and the murals in Buffalo and things like that. So we talked about Nikki. We were going to go a little into, I know that you read the Mary Kay book and you had some things that, you had wanted to share with us that came to your heart. So I'm going to let you take it away.
So what's interesting is 2020 has been such an interesting year for all of us, and it's given us major pockets of opportunity to kind of think in different ways and step out of our comfort zone in many, many ways. And what I did was I started to chase certain concepts that that normally I wouldn't have time for because I had all this, freed up space and time to do things that I wanted to do. So I started to chase as a hobby the buffalo spots, landmarks, murals, and I started to chase the murals. So meaning I am a mural chaser. But what's wonderful about it is that I am learning so many different stories of the artists and really kind of thinking to myself, this is something that we are living in a powerful city. We are living in a creative hub. We are living in a city with so many beautiful spots that people kind of forget about because we've been living in our day-to-day lives doing our thing. But I've kind of like spotlighted it. But now I have 3,000 pictures and probably one day do an art show over so the whole idea is like to step out of your comfort zone and dream and walk into the dream that you wanted to dream for yourself, and you never know what will end up being at the other side of that. And so now I am in the art community, and it all started with 2020, the pandemic, and it gets part of it has to do with what Mary Kay says in her book, Miracles Happen. I don't know if people have the book but she alludes to the fact that, let me see where you put the three things that are necessary, to kind of shift your focus in life to make sure you're aligned, she says, is God first, your family second, and then your career third. So why she says that, I think, is because the God, it could be whatever God, that you um, believe in, but it's really about your soul, right? So you really want to lean into what makes your soul happy first,
Aha.
right? Because what happens when you start doing and you're putting yourself first, and this is part of Self-Care Saturday, is that you honor your temple, your mind, body, and spirit align, and you start understanding that you have to fuel your happiness first. And there's a trickle down effect that will lead to a happier family, that will lead to a happier career, and the abundance will come from that. That's the bonus. And I'm talking about mental abundance, I'm talking about physical, I'm talking about spiritual, and I'm talking about financial. So it's like the biggest shortcut is to take care of yourself first, because the jump off is going to have a larger range. Does that make sense for you?
Yes. Yeah.
So anyhow, so let's talk about some strategies
Okay.
that
Yes.
you first. Can I ask you a question? What's your definition of self-care?
My definition of self-care would be taking time for myself, which I know that a lot of women feel like they don't deserve to take care of themselves. We always put ourselves last because we feel like there's never enough time and always trying to take care of everybody else. So I feel like self-care would be being sure that your own cup is full, that you're living in a joy opposed to stress.
Right. Absolutely. So there's so many ways to do that, right? So you can do, I made a little list of beautiful ways. And I remember when we did a pre-interview together, you said all I wanted to do was inspire people and have them feel better and feel more healing and more peace in their hearts. So
Mhm.
you're really coming from a really beautiful space. And I think it'll resonate with people. So as you bring together this power group all day, and people can go back and listen to the recordings later too. Get your notebooks out. Get your notebooks out and a pen and take your notes, because I think you're going to learn a lot of things today. And vice versa. You're going to learn a lot about how important this kind of platform is, right? And
Mhm.
I think Mary Kay Ash built her entire iconic brand over this idea of empowering people and women first, right? But what does that mean? Because we are the way showers, it has this trickle down effect with everyone around us. But we can do self-care in many ways, and you can listen to music and exercise, and we can just talk like we are talking right now. A lot of time, because a lot of people feel anxiety. Are you feeling anxiety at all,
Me?
like in general, because of the economy?
Um, I have to say, maybe if I allowed myself to think about it,
Mm.
but I stay in action so I don't think about it. And
So
then,
that's a really great thing, because you're moving, and moving is a very, very important tool in order to kind of deal with the anxiety and the vulnerabilities that we're feeling now. A lot of times, and I have gone through this in my lifetime many, many times, where I sit a little too long in the anxieties and the fears and what ifs. And you think to yourself, well, what if the economy doesn't get better? What if I get sick? What if I can't bring in the money that I've been bringing in? Or what if I'll never return to the state of happiness that I was in before? What if there's all these what ifs? But the idea with movement is it shifts your energy. It kind of rattles it. So you keep trying and testing and testing and testing. And the key is to keep moving and keep testing things, and testing things that are out of your comfort zone. So think about the little teenager you used to be and all the dreams and aspirations and hopes that you had then, but then life and your fears got in the way, and you revert back and you really meditate on the things that you wanted for yourself, because truly you're still connected to that person. And there are still pockets of opportunity to go back there and achieve some of the things that you wanted that will bring you soulfully to a higher vibration. So, and then you will become the person that you really dreamed to be and intended to be. And you will not only achieve healthier mind, body, and spirit, but you will then service others and share your story, which is part of the magic that happens is when you make the changes and you see the results in a positive way. The idea, especially Mary Kay Ash believed in this, is to share it. It's not just for you and you yourself, right? Is to empower others, because we all want everyone to walk in the same direction, right? Eventually, you really do want people to walk toward positivity, a higher vibration. So sometimes you gotta bring people along. But hobbies are really, really important. Uh, for me, mural chasing has to be probably the top hobby that I have, chasing art. Breathing exercises. Now, do you ever do breathing exercises at all?
It's funny, I just learned them like last week, and I just realized how important it is to take a deep breath, like how cleansing that is. So,
Yeah, it really is. It's an important tool to use to bring fresh oxygen to your brain. So it's fuel for your brain, but also a lot of people don't understand um, how to do it, right? Simple. 4 counts. 4 counts in, 4 counts to hold the breath, and 4 counts out. You're going to breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. You're going to hold it steady for 4, and then you're going to release it through your mouth for 4. And I would recommend doing that at least 10 times so you get a nice rhythm. Your shoulders are going to be nice and tall. Okay, and you breathe in and out, and you do it maybe 10 to 20 times, depending on how much time you have. And then what it does is it really brings in the fresh oxygen. And if you do this maybe 3 times or 4 times a day, you'll see definite results. Meditation is very, very key. Praying, meditation, yoga, all these practices are great because what they do is they get you out of your head about your future and your past, and it brings you to the present moment. So they're just modalities and discipline strategies to get you to think present, right now, here and now. So breathing, if you pay attention to your breath, there's no room to think about your anxieties, your fears of the future or the past. It's really about the here and now. And that's what we really want, because then if you start developing that habit of practicing presence, like being present and actively listening at this particular moment, you will then be less anxious. And that is always the goal, right? Because we're so anxious thinking about, oh my God, what's going to happen tomorrow? How are the numbers going to be in Buffalo? Are we going to get shut down? But how about we just enjoy today in this moment? And because tomorrow will come and those problems will come, and at least you haven't been in stuck energy until then, and you're more productive. Does that make sense?
yeah, being in the present moment, I know sometimes I was just learning too about emotions. Like when we get really sad about something in the past, your brain doesn't know the difference between a real thing and a not real thing, and it just goes to that experience, and so it thinks that you're in the experience, and that's why we get sad and start crying again. So I'm so glad you're talking about this, because I've really been trying to think, like, how do we bring ourselves back? Like, you have to mentally be aware that, okay, I'm going back to that place, so how do I bring myself back now? So those are some techniques, is to breathe.
It's interesting you say that, because sharing your story is very healing too, because you just never know who is listening on the other side of it. I love that you're using this platform to help and heal people in the way that you seem really enthusiastic about. And what it is about sharing stories and showing people your vulnerability, but how you've risen also out of it, which is the hope part. You're showing people examples of how you've gotten over certain things, because I remember you telling me stories about when you first started this beautiful career that you've had for 26 years with Mary Kay, is that you were kind of like in the ebbs of trying to figure out what the next step is. But do you remember how you were feeling then?
Yes, I remember I called that my soul searching stage. Like I was trying to find the right thing. Just wasn't happy. And at that point, Nikki, I expected my husband to make me happy. I expected my job to make me happy. I expected the experiences that were going around me to make me happy, and that wasn't working, so I was mad at everybody. So it took me a while to realize that I had to make me happy. So that's why I'm so really passionate about helping women to realize it all starts with us, our thinking. It's all connected, our mind, our soul. The way you feel on the inside shows on the outside. So yeah, I was pretty much soul searching then.
It's really wonderful because you now know what you don't want, right? And that is the gift of going through all those things, is you know exactly what you don't want to go back to, and now you know the difference. So I always look at everything as a blessing, everything. And when you start searching for your best self, and we're walking into 2021, and which is it's going to be a year of manifestations beyond, but we're going to be testing new ideas, new systems, new processes. But part of it is that because we know what we don't want, right? And part of that is the fuel that's going to help us jump off to exploration of new ideas. And part of it is also understanding where you've come from, and that the world is not going to be the same place again. So we're all on, it's a lateral move, right? A lateral move among everyone. So what are we going to do in this new year? Like you said, yes. Okay. But that's when you started to put yourself first, right? This is 26 years ago, right? You put yourself first. You said yes. And we have to continue saying yes to new opportunities and options, and being vulnerable. And the more we do that, is then we start breaking down the fences, then we start breaking down the fears, and then we start saying, you know what, why not? No judgment. There's no judgment. We just got to keep testing. And the more and more you do that, you sharpen the skill of inviting different ideas to your platform. And so you probably have a lot of consultants watching this, and a lot of your clients and your customers. But the consultants, I wanted to talk to them for a minute, for just a second. There are so many things that you can do to reinvent what you do in selling, your platform and the way you do it. And we talked about personalization as being a key factor, making your pitch a little bit different than someone else's, right? And how do we do that? Well, you create a tagline, create little roses, just like Sandy does. And I love these, and I love the fact that you do everything pink, which is Mary Kay. Mary Kay, I bet a lot of people do the same thing. But pink, according to Mary Kay in the book, oh my God, I have this highlighted because it's so good. So, but on page 147, but the color pink continued to hold on me, becoming more and more associated with good feelings, success, and pleasant memories. This is what you want to do with everyone. You want to share an experience with them that will resonate soulfully, so they can keep coming back to you. They're going to associate your name and platform to that thing. So there's going to be the synergy, and people are going to be invested in you. So the more you believe in yourself, right, and you build yourself up, no matter what it is, the more time you put into it, the quality and abundance will come. It's easy. It's like the biggest secret is being authentic, and believing in yourself and doing it differently, and the abundance will come. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's awesome. Awesome. Sometimes it's hard to find our authentic selves, Nikki. So, like, tell us about how do we go about doing something like that?
Well, I think you got to test. And I think in the 26 years that you've been doing this, you've been actively listening to people, right? You've been being patient with the experience and understanding there's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows. And sometimes, we get stuck in our brains that we just want to get to the end game with everything, right? Which is for some people, how much money am I going to make? Right. And that's the biggest thing on everyone's mind. The enjoying the journey is where the magic happens, in meeting people and understanding that everyone you meet is part of your destiny. You just have to actively listen to what they're saying to you, in the way of the stories that they share with you. Maybe also, you know what I will say, a great strategy that I tell a lot of clients is pick your top 3 customers or top 3 people. We don't even have to talk about business right now, but in general, when you wake up in the morning, you scroll through your feed. Everyone does it, right? Pick 3 people every day and send a text to them for no apparent reason. Hey, how are you? Just was thinking about you. And start building the relations, building and building with nothing wanted in return. Really, it's just to put out love and light and to see how they're doing, right? And you can pick your top 3 customers. You really can solidify, because right now a lot of people are not making money. They're just not, right? But the money will come because laterally we're shut down. And so we're probably making at least 25% less, if not more, a month right now because of the shutdown of quarantine, the way we're doing business. The reason why you started doing videos is because you had to start doing videos, because essentially you couldn't really do these the trunk shows and the parties, invite people to the headquarters like I used to go to. You really can't do so because people are worried about their health and their loved ones, so they stay back. So what I would suggest is invest in social capital, but you have everything you need at your fingertips. You don't need to go beyond that. Look at your pool of people, whether it's your friends or your family, pick 3 every day. And if you want to just pick your top 3 customers and kind of nurture that relationship for a couple months, that's a great idea. And then because the abundance will always come after, but you have to be nurturing this right now while we're in the ebbs. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, it does. And I liked you said about listening to people's stories. I always feel like everyone has a story. They just don't have a platform to tell it. So when we're in their space, that is their platform. Everyone does have a story. But I did learn through some self-awareness things that I've done that sometimes, we get ahead in our thoughts and we feel like I don't have time for this story, right? Like that's definitely something I personally had to do, is take myself out of the agenda. And that's been a learned thing also. So just for
I'm sure you've learned a lot of things in the 26 years. I mean, you've earned something like what, 12, 13 pink cars, things like that?
10 pink and 3 red.
See? So we should be asking you, let me ask you, what are your top 3 strategies of nurturing relationships?
My top 3 strategies. Well, I don't know if it's a strategy per se. It's just a feeling I have, I guess. I don't know. I just enjoy people. I enjoy being with people. I like to make people feel better, but I know where I've come from and how I felt inside. And sometimes I can see this in people and I want to help them feel better. I like to just bring joy to people. And that's the reason I wanted to do something like this, was so that I could help women to know they're not alone. Like, we're all in this together. We all feel the same inside, right, Nikki? We're all the same, no matter
what we do.
On the outside, we're the same inside. So,
the wonderful thing about Mary Kay is the quality of the skincare and makeup. And that in itself is your marker of how you breed healing relationships, right? So if you look at it that way, is that you have an opportunity with every client, with every friend, with every family member to, as using the marker of Mary Kay products, right? Whatever that will be, um, is to use that as a healing marker too. So at the restaurant business, when I grew up, I was a waitress, right? And the food was always the marker of conversation.
Mm.
It wasn't everything. It was a small part. I would say about, it could be 50-50, it could be 25%. Some people just came in for a cup of coffee and the conversation. A lot of people are going to be buying makeup for you because they want to just see you, right? They want to also support you. So you want to like celebrate that and also know that you have an opportunity to help others beyond the makeup, which is why Mary Kay Ash is still around, and her iconic brand is still thriving, and it's going to do really well no matter if there's a pandemic or not, because people are invested with a lifestyle, with what it is that is behind the brand, which is about support, empowering. Makeup makes women feel really good. Makeup makes women feel valued, seen, and heard a little bit faster, right? But also the quality products they're good for your skin, and they're good for the platform of what you're trying to build. And it's also a marker when you have a great blush on, a great nail polish. I get compliments all the time on my illuminating bronzer, all the time that I use every day. But it's just a marker for conversation then, and I share it, but I also share that I have an amazing rep in Sandy. You know what I mean? So we have to open up ourselves in that way too, is share some of our secrets, share, and not keep it all in protective mode, and part of it is to be vulnerable enough to open our hearts and our minds to allow newness to come in,
Newness. That's what I think this whole this whole situation, the pandemic, whatever we want to call it, has definitely everybody stopped for a minute to kind of think. And we haven't stopped to think in a long time. We've been on autopilot, like go, 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 go. And I think what I've seen is the pandemic kind of make women sit down and think, where am I going? What am I doing? What is my purpose? Life is short. What can I do? So I know, Nikki, that you are amazing at helping women kind of find their own gifts and talents inside and what to expand upon them and how to expand upon them. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do to help people. And I'm sure you have men too. I mean, right? Do you work
I
with?
do.
Yeah.
I actually do. I actually do. I have a lot of men clients.
Really different, I'm sure,
Yes,
because women are emotional and men are not.
it's so interesting. It's probably 30%, 40% that I have men. Yeah. Which is I've always been a tomboy. So maybe it's my energy field, right? That I attract men in my sessions. But what I do see is that men are wanting more in their lives too, just like women. But we have developed the skill in talking and expressing and doing and sharing. And now men are becoming a little bit more, they're modernizing in those concepts because society, shows us that men have to be this way, black and white, the old paradigm. We don't talk about our feelings and things like that. But I've noticed that men actually deserve a seat at the table, and they have a lot to say. And it's partly because I'm actively listening so much that they are what I call, yes, they are in masculine energy, but masculine energy is about building systems and processes. And that's what's so great about men. They're so good at that, right? Not to negate that women don't do that, but across the board, men are bred to be the builders, let's say, right? But women are this beautiful feminine flow, and we're stepping into our masculine now more than ever. which is meaning the power of our voices and being okay with saying certain things to certain people, and being okay with that without any stuck energy. So we're learning these new skills, these life skills that are empowering us. But I have to say, so how I do it is I invite people into the process of life coaching sessions, and I use numerology as a marker. So that happens to be my marker. I work out of several spots, but there's one in particular that is near and dear to my heart. It's called the Buffalo Women Consortium Group in Williamsville, New York. And this is a group that is that spotlights local artisans that are women. And there's a branch to their group organization that is called Healing Services, and I fall into that. So at the BWC, you'll see different workshops there, like vision boarding, which I completely recommend for people. Vision boarding is really important to do sometimes when you really don't know what your next step is, right? So vision boarding is an excellent strategy modality of trying to figure out what maybe your next step is. You have no idea. So what it is a workshop where you are tapping into your wants and desires, and you put it all together. So sometimes we need to see things in a visual way, not only nonverbal, but a verbal way, a visual and non-visual way, in order for us to understand what we really want, and then pick apart the things that resonate fully and kind of walk into the new year to 2021 saying, okay, this is my vision for 2021. I'm going to set this intention. And part of the goal is to set intentions, set goals. So when you set intentions, you are saying to the universe, to people, to yourself, this is what I want. But be more specific too. Get like into the details about what you want. What do you want? Do you want to gain 6 clients a month? Put it on the vision board. Do you want to make X amount of money? Put that on the. So when you equate your desires, your intentions with a number, you're more prone to be productive and also achieve those results. It's like statistically, it shows it. So you have to be the more detail you put into something, the more you're going to get out of it. So I always talk about intention, the power of intention, the power, how it's related to the power of manifestation. Now, these are concepts that are very new for a lot of people, and the people that I sit with don't know where to start. So they come to me and we kind of look at numbers, and we look. The reason why the numbers are really important because they're the gateway to understanding your tendency and other people's tendencies. So when you start connecting all the dots and saying, oh, okay, so this person was born on this day, the numbers mean this, then you're more aware about that they were born that way, I'm born this way, how you take it less personal as far as like the resistance you might be feeling with them. Or some people you're like a magnet toward, and it's because your numbers align. Right? It's like this wonderful concept of understanding how we're born the way we are, and how do we get to the next place by understanding that. So this is what I do. I invite people in for sessions, and I welcome anyone to call me. And I think you're going to probably maybe add my phone number or an email address where people can reach out to me. And there we go. That's my email, Project Soul Connections. This is a group that I started 3 years ago to breed more connections in my world, my community, my city. And this is our intentions. We have 5 members. That's what we do. We build and breed experiences where we bring people together because we really feel that the world needs more soulful connections, based out of like love and light and service. It's really connected to service. And that's probably another thing that I would recommend for people that are in this time of self-reflection and introspection, and thinking about, oh my God, what is my next step? Is the biggest probably advice I could give to people that that has changed my life in particular is having the mindset of service.
Mm.
So when you start with a mindset of service, like you're servicing people, the collective, the community, you can start very simple, just your family, your dog, your pets, you're servicing. So the more you do for others, the karmic energy comes back to you in ways where it'll blow your mind. So if you get into the habit of putting service first, right? As part of your self-care routine, right? Most people don't think about self-care and service, but it's really honoring yourself by bringing your value to another person, right? And you can, there's different ways you can do that, and simply you can as simple as baking a dessert and bringing it to your neighbor, or just checking up on your neighbor, or sending little cards in the mail now. Everyone texts and we message that way, but it's so nice to get an actual card in the mail and saying, hey, how are you? Or thank you for something that you said. You've made a difference for me. Telling people how much they mean to you. These are things of service, believe it or not. I mean, they're not connected to the old paradigm of the word, which is like volunteering or Meals on Wheels or something like that, or at a soup kitchen. But you can service people with your time, energy, and thinking, just as effective. And that karmic energy comes back to you in so many different ways. And you'll start realizing that there is a manifestation power behind just servicing people. And you probably can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So there's so many things that you've said. I want to recap for a second because there are so many great, powerful little statements you've thrown in there, Nikki. So we have just a couple minutes, and I want to kind of make sure that I first wanted to say, can you hold up Mary Kay's book again? Because I had it here and I don't know where it is. Okay, so
I'm sorry about.
That's okay.
The lighting?
It's good.
I can't believe all the light. The light.
Yeah, that's the light. It's good to see you're in the light. Okay, so
isn't she beautiful?
It is, and I actually have some of the autobiographies I'm going to give away in our drawing tomorrow also. So, but you actually, I know that you've been with me for a couple of years now, but not very long. But it's been such a fun journey getting to know you. But what you said was one of the things you said was really key. What do I want? Like, I feel like sometimes we feel so busy, we don't think, what do I want? Why am I doing this? So you've had so many great, profound statements. So I'd like you to take like a last minute or two and just kind of tell people we're going to have them email you because you are graciously giving away. Nikki's doing a free, here, we'll put this up there, a free hour of life coaching and a numerology session for you. So she can, start.
So we can do this virtually. We'll do this virtually, which is the best way to do it because we are living in a pandemic. But yeah, I wanted to offer that because I really believe that sometimes people just need a little guidance. That's it. I'm just a vessel. That's all I am.
All right. Well, I know that you've really helped me to pull out some of my things that have been like a blind spot, like a blinding flash of the obvious that I don't see myself that someone else sees. So I think that that is a really cool service that you offer people in helping them do that. And I've always heard you can't reach the next level or pull out your greatness without a great coach. So I kind of like think of you as a coach. I don't know. Well, you are a coach. You're a life coach. That's exactly what you are.
Yeah.
So to put that in perspective, everybody needs a great coach. And I just appreciate you, Nikki. I appreciate your time this morning. You coming on here and sharing. I know you've invested a lot in your learning and your self-growth, and all the things that you do just are so intriguing and beautiful. And you're just a beautiful person. I trust you. I just think you're such a blessing to women, especially.
Thank you. That means so much to me. I mean, I work very, very hard at trying to help people and guide people and into a higher vibrational state. But also, I really want people to be happier. And spite of all that is happening right now, I think if we're able to give maybe an hour of our time, a minute of our time, one kind word goes a long way. One kind word goes like
It
people
sure
say to me all the time.
sure does. I just want to thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to put your email up again because
Perfect.
we are going to have you, if you are interested in getting into that drawing for Nikki's hour of free life coaching with her, you're going to email her at that address. I have it spelled right, Nikki?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. So we'll just have you email her your name and maybe a quick question that you might have, or something that you got out of her session and talk today, something that was maybe an aha moment for you. I'm so grateful. I wish that I could call everybody on here, Nikki, to affirm you and, just
Thank
tell
you. Thank you.
but we'll be watching the Facebook comments and posts later. I'm going to post some more things about you and a little bit more.
I think what you're doing today is going to be amazing. It's going to mean I think people need to get their notebooks out and their pencils and take notes because I think this is going to be an amazing opportunity to help people and ideas.
Yes. Well, thank you for your time. I'm very, very grateful to you. I'm grateful that I got to know you. I'm thanking Stephanie publicly now for introducing me to you. She referred me.
I love Stephanie.
Yes.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you, Nikki, for your time. And we'll carry this on in a conversation in the Facebook group later. So, all right.
Perfect. All right. Have a great day.
We'll be back in a few minutes with another session.